First, let's talk about Pokemon Stadium. Pokemon Stadium came around in the Nintendo 64 many years ago, where you could battle the first generation of Pokemon with 3D representations. It was really great. It was fun. But Magikarp was most known in this, not for its main fighting prowess in the game, but for the fact that there was a series of mini-games within Pokemon Stadium. One of those mini-games was called Magikarp Splash, where the entire point was that you were controlling a Magikarp, trying to hit a counter as many times as possible within a specific time limit. And we have a little clip to show you what that looked like. That game was so much fun. Alright, Magikarp is also in the Pokemon Ranger series. Magikarp is actually one of the 4 Pokemon that are the easiest to catch. The way to catch Pokemon in Pokemon Ranger is that once you found them, you were supposed to make circle-like rings around the Pokemon. And Magikarp, Pichu, Rattata, and Seedot all only needed 1 ring to be caught. Magikarp is also found in Mystery Dungeon series. Magikarp is exclusive to Mystery Dungeon Blue Team, I believe. To get it in Red Team, you need the Wonder Mail Code, which you can get by doing quests for other Pokemon.
For Magikarp specifically, if I was told correctly, you need the Wonder Mail Code from Blue. So you do quests in Blue and get the Wonder Mail Code and put it in on Red to get the Magikarp in Red.
And in Blue, Magikarp is found in Waterfall Pond, the waterfall referencing the Waterfall of Dragon's Gate story. Also in Mystery Dungeon, Splash actually does damage. This is I think the only time I know that it does. However, there is a catch. Splash does -5 damage to the user and the opponent if the opponent comes in contact with Magikarp when it is using Splash. So you hit it, but it hits you too. Magikarp also had a prominent role in the Pokepark E game. The whole point is that you were a Pikachu trying to go around different areas, making friends with all these other Pokemon in the Pokemon Park. To find Magikarp, you have to go behind the waterfall in the Meadow Zone, another reference to Dragon's Gate, where you have to shock Magikarp out of the water.
Making friends, guys.
When you shock the Magikarp out of the water, you can start a conversation. And you have to play a game of chase with Magikarp. This is where he shows his high speed. You have to catch him with either, you have to catch him with quick attack or with a fully charged Thunderbolt before the start of this. You smack him, and now he is your friend.
I've been making friends wrong, guys.
That is actually what happens. He says that he is now your friend. You can also find him later on in Pokepark 2, the sequel, in the Arbor area, splashing on land. He claims he splashed himself onto land in excitement. You have to knock him back into the water, and then he says you're friends. Going back to the Nintendo 64, there was this great game called Pokemon Snap. You were a photographer whose goal was to take pictures of all the Pokemon of the first generation on this little island. There was an easy way to get a picture of Gyarados. It's much harder to, Magikarp, much harder to get Gyarados. Magikarp isn't a valuable. You have to knock him into the water. He's pushed downstream, referencing his weakness, because he can't swim in the streams. And later in the level, he shows up on a beach where you have to knock him into the water again, and he'll climb the waterfall to evolve, a reference to the Dragon's Gate. This is roughly what it looks like when you get down after hitting him one time. That's how you get Gyarados. Alright, Magikarp has several anime appearances, surprisingly. Going all the way back to the very first Pokemon episode ever aired, I Choose You Pokemon. When Ash and Pikachu are running away from the angry Spearow, they jump into a lake where you can see schools of Magikarp and Gyarados in the background. However, the most memorable experience a lot of people have with Magikarp is the Magikarp salesman. First seen on the episode Battle of War St. Anne, where you find that him trying to sell James a Magikarp.
Boy, hey you boy, come here. Are you addressing me? I want you to have a look at this Pokemon.
What is this thing?
The king of all carp, a Magikarp.
What do I do? Eat it?
See how healthy it is.
Oh, it certainly is lively.
Just between you and me, this Magikarp is like a Pokemon gold mine.
Gold mine?
Right, a Magikarp lays 1,000 eggs at a time. Each of those 1,000 baby Magikarp lay 1,000 more. 1,000 times 1,000 makes 1 million. Every one of those 1 million lays another 1,000. That's a billion Pokemon.
A billion?
You can sell one Magikarp for $100. In 3 generations, you have tons of money. Billions and billions.
Billions?
You'll be so rich, you can go on a Pokemon shopping spree.
Rich!
I normally charge $100, but for you, I'll throw in an egg-laying set, childcare set, and an education set for only $300. How about it?
I'll take it!
I can tell. You're going to be a very rich man. A very rich man.
The Magikarp salesman is actually a recurring character, always trying to sell James the Magikarp. At one point, he even tries to sell Tracy during the Orange Islands saga, a Magikarp, in an epic battle at Oak's lab, where he is interrupted by Professor Oak saying Pokemon shouldn't be sold. He actually successfully sells Jessie a Phoebus that, when brought out, turns out to be a Magikarp painted to look like a Phoebus. Let's see here. Another memorable Magikarp moment is in the Orange Islands series. First seen in episode 87, Fit to be Tied, was Team Rocket's submarine. It was a pedal-powered Magikarp that they used to travel around the islands, and it was often and very easily swept away by anything. Another joke on the fact that Magikarp isn't that strong. We've actually seen a shiny Magikarp in the series too, in the episode The 3 Animal Appearance. It's actually in a flashback sequence where trainer Jimmy accidentally catches one and immediately trades it for a Charmeleon.
If I remember right, also, this is the first official shiny that you see in the series. Like, we see pink Butterfree, but we know shiny Butterfree doesn't actually look like that. And there are a couple other variations, but this is the first one that matches the games. I want to play it.
I slipped and fell into a river. And when Ivysaur and Wartortle pulled me to safety, this weird-colored Magikarp had gotten stuck in my clothes and fell out. At that moment, an old man was passing by, and he was like a Magikarp fanatic or something. He begged me to trade it with him for his Pokemon. So I did.
So it was either a good trade or a bad trade. That man wanted a red Gyarados. The next time we see a memorable moment of Magikarp is the episode You See Me Want an Evolution. In this episode, Ash and friends run into a team that call themselves the B-Button Squad, which like to train their Pokemon without evolving them, led by Haley, who uses a Phoebus, and Orlai, that uses a Magikarp. Where Orlai's Magikarp actually goes into a fight with Ash's Pikachu.
Okay, Ash, whenever you're ready. Well, powerful or not, Magikarp has to be weak against electric attacks.
Probably.
Okay, Pikachu, Thunderbolt, go! Magikarp, dodge it now!
Somersault slip.
Talk about a gold medal move. That Pokemon's probably got a pool full of gold medals. Use tackle, Magikarp! Pikachu, dodge it! Jeez, a Magikarp evolves into a Gyarados, right?
Right.
Wow! Think of the Giga Gyarados this Magikarp would be! What do you think of putting on our Poké Evolution machine and using it on Magikarp for a test run?
Sounds like fun.
Drive it around the block before we blast Pikachu. Yeah, kick the tires.
Pikachu, use Quick Attack! Now Magikarp, tackle again! Pikachu, Tail! Oh no! Pikachu! You okay, Magikarp?
This team, the B-Button Squad, is a reference to the games where you had to hit the B button to stop your Pokemon from evolving.
Team Rocket was just like disguised as the C-Button Squad. I think they missed the jokes.
We also find in an episode titled The Joy of Pokemon, Ash, Misty, and Tracy meet a Nurse Joy who owns an abnormally large Magikarp. Nurse Joy actually recalls the tale of how she found a tiny Magikarp and nursed it back to health. As a result, her Magikarp grew to a gargantuan size.
That was a close one. It's humongous. I've never seen a Magikarp this big before. Me neither. Well, no matter how big it is, all a Magikarp can do is splash, so we're safe.
Later on, this Magikarp actually saves Nurse Joy and Ash and friends from Team Rocket by evolving into an extremely large Gyarados, of a size that Jesse thinks a Gyarados could become in that last flashback we saw before. Let's see here. Another time, it's not directly Magikarp, but in episode 27 of the first season, episode was called Hypno's Nap Time, there was children disappearing from a town called Hop 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 Town. Using a Hypno and a Drowsy as sleep aids, the town people use Hypno and Drowsy as sleep aids. Because the sleep aids are usually meant for Pokemon, the altered waves had a side effect of draining Pokemon's energy and making several children believe they were those Pokemon. One girl is actually seen believing that she is a Magikarp.